So the other night I watched the new Omen movie at the cinema, the first Omen, which is a prequel to the original movie from the 1970s. I think I've seen most or all of the Omen movies, apart from the recent remake of the first film. I think, though, I just saw them on the television. I was never a huge fan. I just found aspects of the franchise quite interesting. There were things that I liked about this particular film. Firstly, the cinematography. It felt like, in order to match the 1970s setting, they were using an older type of camera, something I noticed straight away. Secondly, the actress, I felt, really carried the film. There are a lot of scenes where the face fills the whole screen, which I've mentioned before in other reviews. I like that. And yeah, this actress, Nell Tiger, I believe is the name. She's very watchable. I think I could just have watched 2 hours of this person's face on the screen, quite honestly. There were some points where the film reminded me of other films. There's often that often happens, and this time I did think of the film Susperia, the remake. I'll be honest, I haven't yet seen the first film, the original, and the remake is not a scene-by-scene version. It is a different movie in many ways. But particularly at the end of this film, there was a moment that really reminded me of Susperia. But even at the beginning, I thought of it when the nun is introduced as coming from America and having a very religious upbringing. And there was even some kind of question like, were you beaten? Which was really similar to a line in the Susperia film, were you punished?
Center. I saw you there 3 times. I went once by bus, and I hitchhiked the other 2.
That's risky. Were you punished?
There was even a point at the beginning that reminded me of the film Saint Maud, another religious-themed film I particularly like, quite memorable for me. There's a point where she goes to a nightclub, and that's kind of similar. And then there's a friend or a colleague who appears as a bit of a bad influence or something. There were a couple of moments that felt a bit similar. Overall, however, the film and the whole conspiracy plot, that felt a bit silly. I couldn't really just get behind that plot at all, and I remember most of the original films, but I didn't really get the opening scene either. I felt like am I supposed to have just recently watched all the Omen films again or something to understand what was going on? Yeah, and some of the non-linear storytelling seemed a bit unnecessary, and I'm just generally not a fan of that kind of storytelling. Overall, it's like the director of this movie was just throwing various effects around and tropes into the mix, such as like a completely pointless jump scare moment near the beginning that everyone was in the cinema was just waiting to happen. And actually half the audience in the cinema when I was there just laughed at that scene anyway. So, really what's the point? Also, the first third of the film really felt a bit too slow-paced for me, a lot of soft pedaling, and honestly, I was beginning to get quite bored at that stage. The thing is, the point of the other film is that you have the other movies, you have the whole evil child aspect, which is a sub-genre of film that I quite like, but in this film it's really just about the mother of the child that's going to be born, so you're kind of missing that, and at one point early on in the film I was beginning to wonder, well, what was actually, where are we going here, apart from the fact that they'd already kind of jumped forward with some teasers at the beginning which kind of ruined it. So it felt like, well, let's just fast forward, please, to halfway through the movie or towards the end. Anyway, overall, though, I did like the film. I actually enjoyed it. Not sure if the price of the cinema ticket and the popcorn and the non-alcoholic beer was worth it, but I did like it. I'll be honest, and but I think it was mainly due to this actress. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. See you on the next one. Bye.